The arena of Carvel was not built for mercy. It was a colossal pit carved into black stone, surrounded by tier upon tier of roaring alien spectators. The air shimmered with heat and charged energy fields, and above it all loomed the banners of the Vraxi matriarchy, scarlet and gold, marked with symbols of conquest and ritual death. I stood alone at the center of it. Chains had been removed minutes earlier. Weapons had not been offered. That alone should have told me this was not meant to be a fair fight. "My name is Captain Aaron Cole," I said quietly into the recording implant embedded in my jaw. "Terran Expeditionary Force. If this transmission reaches Earth, tell them we held the line." Across the arena, the gates groaned open. She emerged to thunderous applause. High Huntress Jareth. The Vraxi were a predator species, tall, digitigrade, with bone-plated skin and eyes like molten amber. Jareth was the deadliest among them, a living legend who had personally ended entire rebellions. Her armor was ceremonial but lethal, grown from the shed carapace of defeated rivals. In her hands, she carried twin crescent blades humming with energy. To the Vraxi, this duel was a sacrament. To me, it was an execution. The matron's voice boomed across the arena. "Human warrior, you are offered one chance. Kneel, and your death will be swift." I wiped blood from my split lip and looked up. "Sorry," I said. "Humans don't kneel well." The crowd hissed and roared. Jaretha's mandibles flexed in what might have been amusement. "Good," she said, her voice a low growl. "I prefer my prey defiant." The signal sounded. She moved faster than anything her size had a right to. One moment she was across the arena, the next, her blade grazed my shoulder, carving through fabric and flesh. Pain flared white-hot, but training took over. I rolled, came up, and drove a fist into her rib plating. It cracked. The crowd went silent. Jareth staggered back a step, staring down at the fractured armor in disbelief. "You struck me," she said. "Yeah," I replied through clenched teeth. "That's kind of the point." Her answering strike sent me skidding across the stone. I felt something tear in my side. Blood soaked my uniform, dark and hot. The fight became a blur of motion and agony. I had no blade, no armor, only stubborn muscle, broken bones, and the absolute refusal to die quietly. Every time she knocked me down, I got back up. Every time my vision dimmed, I forced it clear. Minutes stretched into eternity. Jareth breathed harder now. I could see it. Tiny fractures spread across her armor. One of her blades flickered, damaged. "You should be dead," she snarled. "So should you," I shot back. I lunged as she raised her weapon, crashing into her instead of away. The impact drove us both to the ground. Her blade cut deep into my thigh, but my momentum carried me forward. My forearm slammed into her throat. She choked, mandibles flaring. For a heartbeat, we were locked together, predator and prey indistinguishable. Then she did something unexpected. Jareth lowered her head. Her mandibles brushed the blood pouring from my shoulder. Instinct, I thought. A predator's reflex. She tasted it. Her body went rigid. The arena fell into stunned silence as the High Huntress froze, eyes widening. Her pupils dilated sharply, and a shudder ran through her frame. "What?" she whispered. I tried to push her off, but my strength was fading fast. Jareth pulled back slowly, a smear of human blood darkening her mandibles. Her breathing became uneven, almost shaken. "This is impossible," she murmured. The matron rose from her throne. "Huntress, end him." Jareth ignored her. She stared at me, not with hunger or rage, but with something dangerously close to awe. "Your blood," she said hoarsely. "It burns. Not with poison. With will." I coughed, laughing weakly. "You're welcome." Among the Vraxi, blood-tasting was sacred. It revealed strength, lineage, destiny. And what Jareth had tasted terrified her. "In your blood," she continued, "I felt every human who has ever stood against extinction. Every last stand. Every refusal to surrender." Her voice trembled. "It is not just survival. It is defiance encoded into flesh." I met her gaze. "That's humanity." She rose slowly to her feet and then, to the shock of the galaxy, she knelt. Gasps erupted across the arena. The matron shrieked in fury. Jareth pressed one clawed hand to her chest. "I have hunted the strongest warriors of 100 species. None have carried this ending." She looked at me, eyes blazing. "You are my end, human. Not my death, my end." The realization struck me even through the pain. "You mean, you can't fight us forever?" I said. She nodded. "To consume you would be to consume extinction itself. Humanity does not break. It infects." The matron screamed orders. Guards rushed the arena. Jareth moved faster than ever before, turning on her own kind. She cut down the approaching enforcers with terrifying precision, standing over me like a living shield. "This duel is finished," she roared. "The human warrior lives." The crowd erupted, not in anger, but in uncertainty. Vraxi society was built on strength above all. And strength had just changed shape. Terran ships arrived hours later, responding to a signal I didn't remember sending. By then, I was in a medchamber, patched together with alien tech and human grit. Jareth stood at the foot of the bed, armor removed, her posture no longer that of a huntress, but a sentinel. "You should have killed me," I rasped. She shook her head. "If I had, the Vraxi would have remained blind." She knelt again, not as ritual, but as choice. "Your people will not be prey," she said. "Not to us. Not to anyone." The alliance that followed reshaped the sector. The Vraxi matriarchy became humanity's fiercest ally, their arenas repurposed as places of honor rather than execution. And among the Vraxi, a new warning spread to every brood world. Do not spill human blood lightly, because if you taste it, you may discover the end of everything you thought was unbreakable.